Let's get some deadline day deals in. Armando Broja going to Fulham. They've agreed a loan deal for the Chelsea forward until the end of the season. What more can you tell us about it, Jules?
I find this one really strange. On the back of everything we've just said on Chelsea, considering this squad, this Chelsea squad is completely unbalanced, and we've said for many, many weeks now that they need a striker. They have one in Broja. Whether you think he's good enough or not, whether you like him or not, again, it's a different... Pochettino doesn't really like him much, to be fair. However, he's still a number 9. He's more a number 9 than Nico Jackson is, more a number 9 than Cole Palmer or Raheem Sterling or Christopher Nkunku or anybody else that you could put there. And what do? You let him go and you don't replace him. And it's just... I think that sums up Chelsea quite well, and how dysfunctional this club has been since Todd Bailey and his friends took over, really. So it's a loan with a £4 million loan fee as well, so they get a little bit of money in at a time where they need money to come in their account after spending all that money on this current squad. And this is it. And if you're Fulham, then you can have a bit of competition between Jimenez and Broja, of course, hoping that Broja can rediscover the form that we saw at Southampton when he was there on loan a couple of seasons ago. And that's it, really. From a Chelsea point of view, I have to say, even if Pochettino doesn't like him, it doesn't make much sense.
All right, let's take you through some other notable deals that have...
Good things are going on at Chelsea.
Good things going on.
That makes sense.
Listen, notable deadline day deals. Bayern have had to move up Brian Zaragoza signing from the summer to now because of Coman and Gnabry being hurt. So that's an interesting one. Anything else that stands out to you there? Or I suppose that's one of them, really, Ali, isn't it? Brian Zaragoza coming to Bayern now.
Well, yeah, and remember that the reason as to why he was staying with Granada was to help him avoid relegation. He may have stuck around and seen Granada where they are currently, and they're not saving themselves from relegation. He said, I'm not sticking around, I'm out. See y'all later. But it's an important player and a necessary player for Bayern Munich, given the fact that, yes, you just mentioned the injury to Kingsley Coman. I assume that Mati Stel will be ahead of Brian Zaragoza in the pecking order for Thomas Tuchel, but Zaragoza does give this team and this manager something different. A guy in 1v1 situations that's slippery, that's shifty, that has speed, but a lot to prove at this sort of level. Liked him at Granada, had one big game against Barcelona. That was sort of the trampoline, if you will, or in German, the Springbrett.
Springbrett.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Join us every weekend, Shaka. We know that now and again you do.
Bundesliga, Shaka, not the other one.
New goalkeeper at Nottingham Forest, Shaka,
yeah,
as well.
Nottingham Forest have been having an absolute nightmare with that. A bit of a merry-go-round in terms of who has the number 1 sheet, and nobody has done anything to kind of justify keeping hold. I thought Matt Turner started well the other day, but then mistakes. I just feel too often, too many of Forest goalkeepers have just had this lack in concentration, and it's costing them. Forest are sliding desperately, and my concern was that the goalkeeping situation would cost them their Premier League status, had to be addressed. We'll see how it works out.
Jules, it's been a bit of an underwhelming January transfer window. Why? Is it because all the teams are already so set and they don't need to bring any new names in?
Yeah, I mean, especially in England, really, and that's what Gab was saying on our show this morning, is that if you look outside of England, it's actually been pretty interesting everywhere. In Germany, in France, in Italy, maybe not so in Spain, but quite interesting, and at the level that we are used to usually in January. For the Premier League, though, it's very different. I think what happened to Everton and the points deduction, what is about to happen again to Everton and to Nottingham Forest for similar reasons, and the sustainability rules and the breach of them especially is a huge warning sign for every club, everybody, to be careful with how you spend your money, when you spend it, on who you spend it. And I think they were more cautious than ever, really, this month. And that's why I think, compared to, I mean, last season was an exception in itself. The 800 and something million pounds spent in January purely, the deals like Enzo, for example. We knew before that this would never happen again. However, there's a difference between reaching that kind of high and the low that we've had in this January. But yeah, it reflects what the Premier League have been trying to do, which is to control a bit more the spending of Premier League clubs, because there was a time where those spendings were out of control.
A little correction, Sprungbrett. I don't know if I got it right to begin with.
all right.
If Derek's watching, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to correct myself. Sprung bread.
It was lost on me.
Yeah, it's a trampoline in German.
Right. Well, I'll take
Sprung
it
bread.
with whoever.
You need to get practicing, Shaka.
I'm just
No, I'm good.
Right. Make sure to check out our live transfer deadline day thread over on the website espnfc.com.